Guess what, guys? It's back. I'm back. It's your boy. Like I said last time, I'm quitting my job, okay? So I need you to come hang out with me on my Twitch channel. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be with the crew at JK, but I'm also gonna be at twitch.tv/BigBossBoze. You gotta subscribe, you gotta follow, you gotta turn on the notifications, because I'm doing a big stream, and just come hang out, because I'm not gonna have shit to do all day. All right? Please.
She needs friends.
Please.
Go over there.
Please. Welcome back to another episode of Am I the Asshole?
Oh. Yes.
Yes, where people go on Reddit, share some weird situation going on in their life. They want us to judge them. So we're doing exactly that. You guys can play along with us. Let us know in the comments, is this person an asshole? What are your thoughts?
What are you thinking?
Yeah, we gonna read down. So for this one, this is, am I the asshole for saying I love you more than anything to my daughter in front of my wife?
Ooh.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Context matters. Go ahead.
All right, so Nikki's like ready. She's like, I'm ready. Okay, so this is the husband writing this. He says, my daughter is 3 and sometimes gets scared I'll stop loving her when she does something bad. For no good reason, mind you. I make sure she always knows why I'm upset and that I'm mad at her actions, not her. Today, she bumped a glass off the table and just started crying. She asked if I still loved her, and I said, I love you more than anything, and I gave her a kiss. My wife was watching and stormed off. I made sure that my daughter was fine and cleaned up the glass and went to go see what was going on. My wife was crying and calling me an asshole who doesn't love her. I said, of course I loved her, and asked why she was wigging out.
All the women in his life need him to love her.
No, but so that's why I think there's some details being left out, because like, why do the daughter and the wife immediately have that reaction to him, and he's like, I don't know why.
Well, plus,
There's some details being left out. This guy.
I don't know. To a kid too, like it's like, I love you more than anything, and the wife's like,
That's why I'm not convinced that this is the reason she's upset.
But or what if that's the reason why the daughter has such like low self-esteem? Because the mom's always like
editor, please play a glass breaking sound to back me up on that bit. Thank you.
Last line. She said that, okay, so I went in to ask her why she was wigging out. She said that because I said the above phrase to my daughter, it meant that she didn't mean as much to me. Is this really something I'm not supposed to say? My mother said it to me, and my dad didn't freak out.
I mean, I don't know, because I want to hear from the wife. I need like to know if, because from the way that this guy told it, he doesn't sound like an asshole, because like telling a 3-year-old I love you more than anything doesn't sound like an asshole thing to do.
But that could be why he's so confused.
Right.
But it also kind of makes me wonder too, where like his daughter is freaking out constantly, like if she does something, like you know.
Yeah, what's going on there?
You know
exactly what I'm saying.
Nah, it's because it's that woman's daughter.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking the mom's so crazy that the girl like she can't. Yeah, she needs that love.
We could be missing context too, right? Like he could come home and he's like, hey honey, and then you know, he picks up his Joe Montana football and he's like, I fucking love this thing, man. He puts it down.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It could be like some tension before this incident, not this incident, but like this was the last straw for her, you know, because like sometimes I love my cat so much that Steve gets jealous, and
Don't say this on camera. We're cutting that. We cut that. We cut it.
You're the best boy in the whole world, and he's like, but what about me?
I'm like, am I the best boy? Can I be the best boy?
You're competing with your own cat.
Yeah.
Hey Julia, why don't you say it to my fucking face?
I did.
No, you didn't say it close enough.
Oh, you want to say close now? Okay,
Yeah, why don't you say it to my fucking face?
Don't test Julia. She'll do it.
Hey, be a man, Julia. Be a fucking man. Be a fucking
Did you
man.
know that you're fucking competing with your own fucking cat?
Go off. Go off.
She's scary, guys.
Go ahead.
She's scary.
You tested the wrong woman.
She's scary, guys. Down, Julia, down.
Team Julia.
What the fuck?
If you tell Julia punch me, she'll fucking do it full force.
I would, but I feel really bad at the same time.
You would.
but
You're
she
a
would
big
do it.
sweetie. She's a big sweetie, but she's very scary.
I told her to punch David as hard as she can, and David accepted, and she did.
And then David cried.
It hurt him.
Yeah. The next day I saw a bruise on his arm, and I was like, fuck, maybe I shouldn't have done that.
Did it like in the guts.
I liked it that you did it.
But I did it for you, Joe.
But with this thing,
Kills gets demonetized, so Julia almost ended David's.
Okay, so with this one, like, I agree that there could be some context messing, but let's just say that there's not. Let's just
a grown ass woman crying over that. Or
but do you?
Let's play with the idea that it is what it is in the story.
Yeah, like
Right.
I mean, like, do you not believe that there are some women that are like overly?
Could be, but then why is he surprised if he's been married to her?
believe that.
Like, if he's been with this person for this long, why would he be surprised if
Because
that's the type
some
of
men are
person
so
they are?
aloof. I read something one day that this guy posted, and it was like, my wife just told me we've been in an argument for 3 days. I had no idea. What do I do now?
That's me.
That is literally my boyfriend, like, every day. I'm like, yeah, like,
I'm jealous of those guys.
So, and this is just.
Wait, why?
Y'all feel
Because
free
they don't
to-
even know they're in a fight. That's awesome.
Because the girl would be way
Yeah,
so.
no stress,
Dude,
no stress.
some, like, I don't know, I'm also, like, very aloof to stuff, and, like, I don't always just pick up on shit like that, so, like, I get it. But for you guys, question, so here's something I thought while reading this. So, women tend to attach to the husband because sometimes they take that external validation and that partner kind of validates them, and then when they have a kid, they're like, yeah, I fucking love this kid. But when a man has a child, they're like, oh, like their baby girl is like everything to them, and sometimes the child almost takes precedence over the wife because they're like, I made this.
That's why you gotta agree ahead of time. We have an agreement in place that we will always be each other's number one ahead of any of our children, and we will always put like our marriage first.
As my friend Tahir says, fuck those kids. Because eventually
They're gonna leave you.
and they go do other shit, and I don't even want to call.
They won't return that love.
And I don't even want to call my parents on the phone.
Dude, y'all got that crazy love. Y'all really do. But that's what I'm saying. Like, for some men, I mean, like, do you see
Well,
yourself? being
I
like
don't
that?
know because I don't have kids.
You got a baby girl.
But-
Say you got a baby girl.
That's what I heard though.
It looks
Is
like
that the baby girl? Well, it doesn't have to look like me, but the baby girl for some guys becomes the world, and they're like, fuck the wife or whatever, doesn't matter. She's the thing that I'm gonna protect for the rest of my life, and like
Yeah.
the love that they have for their baby girl.
I
it just
honestly
completely-
think those guys are, and there's a word that I would use previously, maybe 2 years ago, because it's just a little lame, man. Like, I don't know, all this like daddy's girl shit, let's go on daddy daughter dates, and like, have you guys heard of a purity ball? To me, this is just short of a fucking
You
purity
mean that R. Kelly or not R. Kelly? Who was the guy that was looking at her hymen?
T.I. or Ice-T.
Yeah, it's like that shit. But this is close to that, right? A purity ball is like in some southern areas, like very religious people, the dad takes the daughter, like starts courting the daughter and takes her on her first date and like starts dating her.
That sounds weird.
What?
Fucking weird. That's what I'm saying. This is all in that zone to me, where it's like that's my girl, like that's my baby girl.
My dad would teach me stuff like the guy should always walk on the outside, and he would always, do that by example. And he would be like, a guy should open the door, and like
Your dad wasn't obsessed
a guy
with you.
should walk you up to the front door, and not just drop you off at the driveway or whatever.
Your
but
dad was not obsessed
No,
with
he
you.
was
And
definitely
some
not.
guys do that shit because they think that's fucking.
Yeah, but you're talking about the perverse reason for it, right?
yeah, no, the like weird like obsession thing.
Yeah, but that's weird, right?
I'm saying it's just before being that weird.
But there's a whole aspect of people saying that you should date your daughters, as in take her out on dates, hang out with her
To show
because
her like what a man should.
exactly, and that is a good like because what ends up happening is like. If guys play the traditional role of just make money and don't have interaction with your kids, there's no relationship, and she doesn't have a good idea of what a man.
But I'm not advocating that.
She could get that idea by how the man treats the mom too, by how her dad.
Exactly, but we're getting kind of off topic here. The point is, she asked if that love can change. I don't have any personal experience, so I can't say, but I have heard that right from birth, the daughter already gets more attention because of that.
wife. And-
There's no because I think what it is. Here's what I think it is.
Well, we're not
It's
having a girl then.
Nope.
It's the purity of the relationship with an innocent being, and there's baggage with the wife. So that's I think what my take on it.
I think you're right. I think you nailed it.
Yeah.
Louis C.K. talks about it in his stand-up where he's like, now, like after my kids were born, I looked at my wife and it was like, you're a stranger. These are my blood.
Damn.
Yeah.
And like that's what I'm saying.
Well, he also has a strange relationship with women, so
Yeah.
He's like not
in general.
But I mean,
Yeah, when my
weird.
kids were born, I looked at my wife and I was like, "You're a stranger. Can I jerk off in front of you?"
Jesus.
this guy's saying though that his daughter is 3, so for a while, maybe the first year the wife is really caught up in the child. The second year she starts to feel like, oh my god, he loves the kid more than me. And then by 3rd year, this is the first time he's really hearing of it. So he's like, whoa, I can't say that. and like maybe he is prioritizing his kid over his wife, and she feels that.
I think it might be just some guys are wired that way because I did watch this other documentary and it was an interview with the Iceman. So this Iceman, he's
The real Iceman.
the Iceman that killed
The real Iceman.
the Iceman that killed over 300 people. Right?
Oh, right, that
So,
guy. There's two Icemen there.
Right. So this guy, what he was talking about, they asked him is, do you love your wife? And he says, yes, I love my wife. Do you love your kids? Yes, right? And then they asked him like, can you kill your kids or can you kill your wife? They're just trying to figure out how he thinks. And he's like, no, for my kids, I will kill for my kids. I will kill my wife for my kids. So that's kind of like this weird primal thing that this guy had.
Because it continues the bloodline.
It's his physical blood.
Like biologically, yeah, that would take precedence because like this is blood and this is not blood.
Those guys are primally wired as hell too.
Yeah.
Like mob people. Those.
Yeah. You guys are some of the few people that have had the conversation before, and I've heard that it's healthy to have that conversation and say the relationship comes first, always.
Well, I know that one day, just like what happened to Nikki, like some guy's gonna come along and take the daughter away from the dad, right, and the mom. Like that's just what happens. Like so, it doesn't make sense to me to do this shit where it's like I'm gonna lower my wife on a pedestal, put my kid above that, and then wait for them to leave me.
I don't know if they intentionally lower the woman.
I don't think it's intentional.
I don't think it is either, but I'm intentionally preparing my mind for kids like that.
Yeah, and I've heard that that's the healthy way to go about it, but most people don't do that, you know? They just have this, now they have this blood, they're holding it, and it's a very powerful experience, I think, for a man, too, because men tend to be a little aloof or not super in touch with their feelings, and when that's right there in your hand, you can't help it. You feel everything.
I feel like it was the opposite for my parents. My mom said when she had us, like she just felt this like these are my babies and like kind of didn't pay as much of attention to my dad. And my dad was always like, you come first, like you're up here and
give me attention.
Yeah, so it was kind of the opposite, and I feel like he was always kind of jealous that we got more attention than him.
Yeah. Interesting.
I feel like a lot of Asian families are like that.
It's a new dynamic to the relationship when you bring kids, and then people are fighting for the attention.
Yeah, if one person's more into the kids and this person's more into the spouse, then yeah, there's like a disconnect.
It's no different than one person loving someone more than the other.
Yeah.
And that sucks too.
That's sad.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of families go back to like what Joe mentioned before about a lot of minorities being more about survival rather than about like love, right? A lot of like marriages. So then when they have kids, it's like this is how my family is going to survive. It's going through this bloodline, you know. So even like
That's deep as hell. That's horny as fuck.
That's really horny.
is it?
That's horny talk.
It might be a little bit less horny.
I feel like that's my parents though, because my parents only dated for 3 months before they got married.
That's really horny.
The only reason I
gotta get something.
No, because like my dad was saying that like after his dad fell sick, he was like, oh fuck, I need to produce grandkids for my dad, and so like he went out and tried to find somebody and he found my mom. So like that's literally the story of it. So I feel like huge love miscommunication and disconnect sometimes because I see the way that they argue and I see the way they express themselves and they do not match at all.
Joe, would you say that marriage after 3 months is too horny?
I think it's not horny enough. 3 weeks it is.
Oh, 3 weeks.
I don't know if it was horny though, because my mom.
I know someone that married someone after 2 or 3 weeks of meeting them, and they're in their 50s right now.
Wow. And they still love each other?
They're still together.
Well, they're together. Together and love doesn't.
They don't argue, so I don't know.
Okay, I like Joe's criteria for love.
No, I don't know their relationship that deep, so I don't know if
Maybe they don't talk to each other.
That is the most peaceful relationship.